Dunbarton Board of Selectmen meeting to order for Thursday, March 5th, 2020. I have all three selectmen present, I have the town administrator present, I have the recorded secretary present. I have Mr. Lee Martell recording for the benefit of the citizens of Dunbarton. Good evening, everybody. I have some minutes, John.
Motion to approve the regular minutes of February 27th, as amended.
I'll second Bob's motion.
Any discussion on those minutes, gentlemen?
Yeah, they look pretty good.
Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye. You can vote too after.
Aye. It was unanimous.
It's a heavy one.
Okay, I'm gonna open up for public comment first. Just as we get some new faces here, just remember, please state your name for the record and your address. Anything in the first row, second row, third row, start with Lee. Go ahead.
Yep, Lee Martell, so thank you for acknowledging me doing the videotaping, but I like to throw out Linda Nickerson's name every once in a while because she helps me. And also, I'd like to thank Lean in her office because they've been posting the agenda for us, so that's a good thing.
Okay, so noted. Don?
Could I talk about this?
Don, could we do it on the second public comment? Because
Okay.
we're gonna be at length on that one a little bit. Okay. Chief, the back row, anything else?
I'm here about a food truck.
Yes, you're on the agenda. When we
That's
get-
what I wanted to find out.
Okay, you're definitely on the agenda, we'll be discussing it tonight, thank you. Back row, anything further? Nothing? I don't see anything? Okay, I'm gonna bring it back to the board then. All right, the first thing on the agenda, we have a swearing in of a part-time police officer, Mr. Chris Connolly. I think this is a notice of appointment for Christopher D. Connolly of New Boston in the county of Hillsborough. There is a vacancy for patrolman in the town of Dunbarton, and whereas we, the subscribers, have confidence in your ability and integrity to perform the duties of said office, we do hereby appoint you, the said Christopher D. Connolly, a patrolman of said town. Upon taking the oath of office and having this appointment and the certificate of said oath of office recorded by the town clerk, you shall have the powers, perform the duties, and be subject to the liabilities of such office until another person shall be chosen and qualified in your stead. Okay, I just wanna say, Mr. Chris Connolly, please raise your hand. Okay, so kind, I just wanna introduce this gentleman. I came in after this gentleman left, but this is the former chief of this town, and so welcome back.
Thank you, sir.
And now if I could get the selectman to sign this, and I'd like to get an assist from the town clerk, please, if you please come on up and give us a hand.
Want to sign
You
it?
sign this first three,
Signing?
so we're signing.
Is that? Oh, yeah, let her know. It should be Mount Vernon.
It's about Vernon.
Yes.
We can do a pen change on that if we can.
Just single line through it.
Mhm.
I take responsibility for error.
We doing good?
I knew it was that way, but I wasn't 100% sure.
Because they're gonna wanna take all kinds of great pictures. You're again, repeat after me. I, Christopher Connolly,
I, Christopher Connolly,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will bear faith
that I will bear faith
and true
and
allegiance
true allegiance
to the United States of America
to the United States of America
and the state of New Hampshire,
and the state of New Hampshire,
and will support the Constitution thereof,
and will support the Constitution thereof,
so help me God.
so help me God.
And I, Christopher Connolly,
And I, Christopher Connolly,
do solemnly and sincerely
do solemnly and sincerely
swear and affirm
swear and affirm
that I will faithfully and impartially
that I will faithfully and impartially
discharge and perform
discharge and perform
all the duties incumbent on me
all the duties incumbent on me
as a patrolman
as a patrolman
according to the best of my ability,
according to the best of my abilities,
agreeably to the rules and regulations
agreeably to the rules and regulations
of this Constitution
of this Constitution
and the laws of the state of New Hampshire,
and the laws of the state of New Hampshire,
so help me God.
so help me God.
Congratulations.
Speech.
Chris, I have your badge for you, and I'd like to welcome you back.
Thank you, Mike.
Watch it.
Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
Welcome, boys, sir. Good to meet you.
Nice to have you back, Chris.
Does he go on patrol tonight or what?
Lots on the road.
Ballot calls long. This bug.
Okay, that was great. Well, again, it's good to have you back, and I think as our chief, the current chief was explaining to us, part-timers are tough to get. And, so we appreciate you coming in and giving us a great assist.
Thank you, good ones.
Okay, now, I need another chief.
Yes.
Come on up. And,
Really? I like that.
the thing is, one of the things that we're concerned with is this coronavirus coming up. We asked Chief to talk a little bit about it. The thing is, one of the things, it's, people say it's like the flu, treat it like the flu, but the thing is, I've seen in the West Coast, they're closing school districts as soon as there's any inclination of any community involvement. The first thing they do, they're closing schools. That's something the school department's gonna have to take if we go down that path. Chief, I'm gonna let you have the floor.
Yeah, talking about the school, they've already got their plan implemented through the SAU, so, yeah, I mean, it's early in the ball game, we're doing some early planning, I mean, you know, it's not time to panic yet, we're not on DEFCON 10 quite yet. Been in every day in contact with the state on every email list possible from the state of New Hampshire, Department of Homeland Security, DHS, DPS, EMS, State EMS, Homeland Security, Capital Area Health Network, Concord Hospital, you name it. I get an email daily. Got one today, bringing pass around, this is update number 5 already. They like to call it COVID-19 instead of corona virus. But, you know, my primary concern right now in the town is to protect the first responders. We gotta have our own PPE and personal protection equipment.
Does that include the eyewear, John?
Mask,
It does.
gown,
So a
gloves.
mask or a whole.
We do have shields.
Yeah,
The problem right now is the symptoms, signs and symptoms are close to the flu. So there's obviously questions you need to ask. You know, you've been out of the country, contact with anybody who's been out of the country. Something will red flag it that possibly could be the coronavirus. At E911 in state, what they've done is change their protocols. So if you call in, say that you're a sick person or you difficulty breathing, they have a chart they go down through and determine what that call is gonna be, call determinants, an Alpha call, Charlie call, Delta call. So they're gonna ask these questions, these new series of questions. Have you been out of the country? How many days back? Which countries you've been into?
This is well before anyone goes out,
This is on the initial 911 call.
okay?
So if they answer yes to any of those questions, then they notify the supervisor, and then our dispatch center will be notified. So before we get dispatch, or during the dispatch, I talked to the Concord supervisor at dispatch yesterday. They're not exactly sure how they're gonna notify us, they don't wanna put it over the air. So either be through a I am responding program that we use, and a phone call. So they'll ask us to call fire alarm, say, look, this person's answered yes to these questions. So when we respond to that residence, we've already done some training at the fire department over it. How are we gonna handle it? We're not gonna send a lot of people into that residence, send the minimum amount of people, in that we have to evaluate the patient. Full protective gear, mask, gowns, gloves. Go in, evaluate the patient. If the patient needs to be transported, then obviously we'll transport them.
How's your protective equipment status as far as amount?
Adequate at this moment, but we're gonna need to purchase some more, which is gonna be an issue, finding it. This money they just approved today, that federal level, 8.3 million, whatever, New Hampshire's gonna get a chunk of it. Some of that money is gonna be for reimbursement for equipment. There is a cache of equipment somewhere in the country, but it's not enough to distribute to every state. They need like billions of masks, you know, the respirator masks, or the most important ones, the N95s. Surgical masks are fine to protect another resident house, you can give them to us, but to protect us, we need the N95s, and they're getting harder to come by because the general public's going out and buying all this equipment that they don't need, which is leaving a shortage for the people that need it. You know, healthcare professionals, ambulance people, police officers, need this equipment, and there's gonna be a shortage. But it looks like this grant will be, reimbursing for that type of equipment. I mean, if this thing blows up and gets worse than it is, you know, you as administrator is gonna have to deal with employees being out, you know, sick leave issues, people run out of sick leave. How are you gonna backfill the police department? Say 3 of our police officers get sick, you know, that's half the police department.
Chris is gonna take over.
There you go. So, you know, in Dunbarton, we're a small community, you know, it's not such a big issue, but there'd be overtime to cover for those guys. But, you know, like a town like Goffstown or Bedford, they could have 10 police officers out. You got
Right.
2 weeks, they're gonna be quarantined or isolated, so you're gonna hire 6 police officers around the clock for 10, 14 days. You know what kind of cost that's gonna be in overtime to communities? So, you know, hopefully, this federal money will reimburse towns that have to put out that kind of money to deal with the crisis. You know, you've heard it a million times, you're gonna hear it some more. On the personal level, you know, wash your hands, cough in your arm, or tissue, and stay at home. But, you know, the stay at home is gonna be an issue for employers, employees. Some people don't wanna stay at home, you know. You have people that, you tell them to stay home, they go home in a minute. You got other people that don't wanna stay at home. You're gonna have people coming to work that are gonna be told to go home. But, you know, that's all administrator issues that you would have to deal with. You might have to tell your department heads or your supervisor, somebody comes in with these signs and symptoms, send them home, you know? But, you know, a lot of people out there, they take off from work, you know, they don't have sick time, you know, they lose pay, they're off payroll, so those are all issues that employees and governments are gonna have to deal with. You know, hand sanitizer, Lean's already purchased some for the town office. You know, soap and water is the best. These cleaners, there's some on the market now that, don't have, you gotta have at least 60% alcohol in them. There's some people pushing stuff out there that doesn't have that level in it, so you gotta be careful what you buy. Like everything else, people are trying to sell you products that aren't what they appear to be, so, you know, that's a step forward, coming to a public building. You know, Dunbarton, we're again, small town, we're fortunate. No nursing homes, no assisted living, no colleges, no hotels, you know, any of those type of businesses are gonna attract a large, you know, group of people. You know, is it gonna happen in Dunbarton? Yeah, it'll probably happen in Dunbarton. People travel, there's people in Dunbarton that are traveling internationally right now. You know, they come back home, you can see in the news, there's not enough test kits, they've been to one of these countries, they come to register their car, you know, they come in the town office, so, you know, there's potential for us, to see it in Dunbarton, but, you know, I don't see it, at this point being, you know, widespread like it is gonna be in a larger community. So, like I said, we're monitoring what the state's doing every day, we get updates every day, I get emails 2 or 3 a day. I just got one before I left the house tonight from Concord Hospital. Concord Hospital just today, the last 4 hours, has come out with a plan to how to accept people by ambulance at Concord Hospital. Now, they didn't have a plan till today, so if we go to Concord Hospital, the patient, they got a whole new entrance, they got a section of the hospital, they got some isolation rooms set up, decon rooms, pressurized rooms, telling us how to take the patient in, how to decon when we come out. what do we do? So, you know, it's early state, planning, like I said, they've just come out with their plan today. You know, New Hampshire has had a couple people, in the Hanover area that had it, so, you know, we're gonna get it in the state, there's no question.
Is there anything, John, you can foresee that you need from the select office, select board?
Like I said, at this point, we just wanna make sure the first responders are protected and that there is a cost to that. We have plenty of masks right now. I'm gonna have to purchase some gowns, but we don't have any gowns, so, you might see some of those bills come through, but, you know, we'll try to keep them separate. It does come to the point where we'll get reimbursed for them, you know, if not, I'll just pay part of our budget, but I don't see a big, cost this time, at least my department. I mean, like I said, it becomes widespread and, you know,
If you find any information through the various emails that are can be pointed towards the public, we can use our website, and Chief, I'm gonna ask if you could use your website to distribute anything COVID that comes out, that's, you deem that's appropriate for the public to react to.
yeah, I'll leave you this one tonight, there's some information here, about the state, what they've got so far, they finally got a test, kit, how many people they can test with it, countries they suggest you don't go, visit right now. There's quite a bit of information just in this update that came out yesterday, what's going on in the state, who's doing what, and, but, I mean, like I said, that's number 5 already, I've got, since Friday, I think, so they're constantly putting, information out there. I mean, our congressional people, you know, if you like them or not, they've done a great job so far, so going to bat for the, state. They worked on getting this funding, that was approved today, so, you know, from the fed level to the state to the local, we're pretty well, I think, at least keeping us informed of what's going on and what you should do. I know a lot of people are asking about this quarantine, if you get quarantined at home, self-quarantine, what are you supposed to do? I was on a conference call yesterday from the CDC. It wasn't what I thought it was gonna be. It was a lot of, you know, companies around the country, nursing homes, those type of facilities asking questions. And I'll tell you the truth, half the questions they couldn't answer. These people are asking, you know, about how to do that. How do you quarantine at your house? What can you do? Or, you know, you're gonna affect your rest of the family. I mean, there's questions that, legitimate questions that people have asked me.
But you don't-
What if we have to stay at home? What do we do? You know, what do? You answer the door, you know, there's all kinds of, stories already out there. Don't get an Amazon package, you're gonna get contaminated if it came from China. I mean, there's crazy stuff. Still,
Okay.
good questions.
But as I said, if anything comes up that you think this public would benefit the public, just pass it on, we'll distribute it as far as what we can do on our level.
Yeah, I mean, this is probably the most visited building in the town during the week, so.
Besides the library.
Oh, yeah, besides the library. Sorry, Mary.
Yeah.
Anyways, you know, so you might or have some procedures of wiping down surfaces, you know, that you normally do. I don't know how often you do it, but you might step that up. Before I left the
She
house
does a
tonight,
very good job, but twice a
there
week,
is,
so you're right.
evidence now that it might, the virus might, germs can stay on the surface now longer than they thought they initially were. They thought it was, you know, you're gonna catch it from droplets or coughing or close contact within 3 feet of somebody. But now they're saying that distance might be farther and it might last 2 hours to 9 days on the surface that they didn't thought that it was gonna be. So again, you might wipe the surfaces down, you know, town clerk's area, that's where it gets most people. Like I said, Lean's already gone out and bought some hand disinfectant, so, I mean, those are steps you can do to help spread it.
I've been telling people, just treat it like the flu initially,
Yeah,
wash it, just a
exactly.
good hygiene.
Yeah, and I mean, really, if you look at the numbers so far, you know, there's, what, 350 million people in the United States? 162 have it. And they're saying 80% of people that catch it are gonna get over it without any kind of hospitalization or,
Some don't
So you
even know
don't-
they have it.
right, yeah, people have it, probably don't know it. And there's not enough test kits available right now to test everybody. But, you know, the only big difference between this and the flu right now is there's no vaccine and there's no medication. They're not sure, you know, how they're gonna treat it. You know, if you get the flu now, you know, there's flu medication, flu, whatever, there is at least medications. But, again, the symptoms are very close to that, so gonna have to do a little detective work if you do get a call to one of these residents, and, you know, chances are, if they have it, they've been out of the country, or they've been in contact with somebody, that was out of the country. So, I mean, those are just some things we need to look for. Like I said, if it blows up and gets worse, who knows? I mean, it's spreading more in the United States, but everybody thought it was going to, but, you know, I'm sure we'll deal with it when.
Well, I requested to have the meeting last week because I thought there was a little larger committee. I didn't realize there was a committee of one, and, but now we know you are the committee.
Yeah, well, technically, if you read our emergency plan in town, the health officer is the lead on health issues in town, and the emergency management director assistant.
Okay.
So, I did talk to Mike today.
Yep.
Saying they've been checking, with the state over there during the day. He gets some of the same, I think, emails that I get, being a health officer. So technically in Dunbarton, if there's a health issue, it's in
Okay.
emergency management director.
Well, that's good to know, and if you need an emergency meeting, if there's something midweek, just call us and, we're all pretty available, I think, to come in and meet with you if
Yep.
there's something we need.
Yeah, but, you know,
Just come in with a mask, okay?
okay. Glad to see no one's going on tonight. But, you know, that's another issue, don't go out buying these supplies that you really don't need at this point, cause, people are just
Right in
going
there.
out and
Elliot,
stocking up for,
Elliot Hospital was cleaned out, someone went in there about a day ago and cleaned out all the masks. And the thing is, the ones that don't do anything for you, they just took, you know, they had the complimentary mask,
Yep.
cleaned the whole office out.
my wife works at Hitchcock, and same thing, they leave them outside in the office.
Right.
People just
Took them away.
wipe them out, so now they put them behind the counter. And, you know, somebody comes in if they're coughing or gets,
Right.
they hand them out, but before people just grabbing them and walking up the door.
It's not the savior.
Yeah, so.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you, John.
Thank you.
And Chief, if Lean gets anything, she'll pass it to you, to your website. That'd be, because yours is equally as popular as a town website.
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Woody, come on up. We're gonna open the bids now.
Thank you, gentlemen.
Yep.
Sam, Camera.
I understand we got about 6 bids to open up? You don't have any bids? Okay, okay. The direction we have now, we'll talk about the town truck. Which direction do we wanna go? He suggested the one thing we said earlier, that we could, talk about turning it into the state for auction. That'd be one option.
Yeah, that's an
I
option.
think we should try the lower left.
That's what I was
That was the
thinking.
other thing I would,
Try one more time at that, and then,
see what happens. I mean, we got plenty of time, I don't think the state auctions for a while.
right.
Yeah.
Do you
May
wanna
or June.
lower it, or do
May
you
or
want?
June, I think, is the state auction.
Or do it, you can do it for nothing, and then if you don't like the bid you get.
That's what I was gonna say, is just put it out there for bid and say that we have the
Oh.
right to reject any and all bids.
Yeah, I'll put that on
Why don't we do
the.
that?
That way there we'll see what kind of numbers we get,
I'm
'cause,
okay with that.
you know, you're gonna drop it down to 25 or 2,000, and then you're gonna, somebody's gonna wait it out.
Yeah,
You go to the state and pay 3 times as much.
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, we got plenty of time,
Oh,
so.
and did you, your placement, spot on.
It works.
It works. But
Lot of
if you don't, if you've seen it, his truck's right at the front gate of
Oh,
the
yeah,
transfer
yeah.
station.
I like that.
And so
It's
it was,
clean, too.
it looks,
Vacuumed it, we washed it.
Put the clean side out.
So, yeah, I mean, like I said, we got plenty of time, so. And if we don't sell it this way, we just take it to state
okay,
auction.
understood. But, it's good, I just wanna say that, I saw that where your placement was, I'm saying, oh my god, it can't get any better than that.
What are we gonna do, modify it on the website, Lean?
I'll just rewrite the
Yeah.
paper and,
I've actually got it in my,
yeah, I have it in my do now.
Or you can put recently washed.
There you go.
Okay,
All
we get your update, just go as a corollary.
Okay.
Some of those issues we're gonna wait till after the.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, but if I don't mention them to you while I'm thinking of them.
No, it's good,
You know?
it's good ticklers.
One thing about that truck, do we want to, because Linda's working on plates for the state now, you know,
Okay,
because of municipal vehicles, we're gonna be getting new plates this year.
thing is,
Do we wanna, it doesn't cost us, do we wanna carry them? Either we're gonna have to have it towed if it goes to state auction.
if it's no cost, let's just do it.
Okay.
Gentlemen, agree, consensus?
I mean, it doesn't go anywhere, it just stays at their transfer
Yeah.
house, but it,
But it's a backup truck for you too.
yeah, we know.
Yeah, that's good.
We
The new
just-
one's not gonna break.
Yeah, it should be.
Okay, I wanted to remind you, a second subject, Monday, set up.
Yes,
You all
yeah.
set? Yeah, same,
4 o'clock.
4 o'clock?
Yeah, if I was, we haven't heard anything, but we're running off that it's 4 o'clock.
Yeah, that's
and,
correct.
You're gonna grab Linda's stuff.
Yep,
Ed and I plan on being here at 3:30, load up, and then over there at 4.
right. Now, probably be Tuesday, will probably be a late evening too. But
Yes,
the thing is, I thought what you guys did last time, you took 80% or 85%
Right.
of what you could, and it was worked out perfectly.
yeah, we'll do the same thing, and then, because I have a meeting Wednesday morning in Epsom, so we'll get everything we can get done Tuesday
Tuesday
night.
night, yeah, and the few little boxes, I just drove up here, and it was no issue,
Yeah, we'll
but
take
it was a
care of
big help.
Yep, we'll take care of it.
Any other questions about the election?
Nope.
Okay, well, Monday, I'll probably stop by and see you Monday afternoon when you're in there late Monday setting up.
Oh, yeah, okay, yep,
I don't have anything else.
okay,
Okay, enjoy,
Alright.
thank you.
thank you.
Your updates are spot on, keep them
Okay.
coming.
Alright.
Just for the public, what he does is, we were asking the building department for updates, and they give us, what's going on. Not that we have to act on anything, but it gives us tells us what's going on, like a snapshot of what's going on at the transfer station, and some of the issues, and, he's gonna keep reminding us, but some of the issues are outstanding, and I appreciate that. Okay, moving right along. We have a, donation from Roots Across Dunbarton. Do we have $350?
we do.
A check for it, or cash?
Check.
Check, okay.
I'll make a motion,
Please.
I guess.
Okay, Dave, that'd be great.
Per RSA 31:95-B, Roman numeral 3, paragraph B, to accept the donation from a new sponsor, Jay's Gun Shop, for $350 for Reese across Dunbarton. Thank you, Don.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Is Jay's Gun Shop on,
Yeah, on Blackbrook,
Blackbrook Road?
right,
Okay, what, he's a Dunbarton business,
yeah,
very good. Thank you. Okay, keeping right onto the
that's a
agenda.
5-year commitment.
Okay, excellent. Keeping along the agenda, I'm gonna move right along. Kathy, come on up and chat with us. Kathy has a letter to us, we saw that early. It's basically, she wants to have a,
I'll give a sign up there.
I have a food truck,
okay,
and I operated last year in Bow,
okay,
and I'm looking to expand in the area, find new places to set up, and, people from Dunbarton said, well, it would be great if you could set up in Dunbarton Center. So, I'm here to find out about,
so right now, just the logistics of it, you wanna set up 1 day a week.
yeah, right now it is 1 day a week.
What will you be offering?
I pretty much cook whatever I darn well feel like, and
Okay.
that's what I serve. Usually it's burgers, pulled pork.
Is it more of a lunch or breakfast, not a breakfast, it's more of a lunch or?
It's more of a lunch dinner.
Okay, so you'd be,
I still have a son in school,
okay,
in Bow, and, so he's not quite to the point where he can get himself out of bed and to
Okay.
school, so I have to.
thing is, I just like to, as far as hours of operation, what hours of operation will be running?
Well, what I found in Bow is it all depends on the day,
Okay,
whether, I would set up around 10:30 in the morning, because it takes a while to get the truck up and running, and serve lunch, and on the days I did dinner, it was 3:30 or 4 to 7. But, things pretty much die down in Bow. they roll up the sidewalk.
If it dies down in Bow, it's gonna be dead here.
So when you say hours, it will all depend on
Okay.
when people stop by.
Now, you're licensed by the state.
Yeah, the health department.
How did it work in Bow? It looked like you were approved or something in Bow as well?
Yeah, the town, has a hawkers peddlers, not something that Dunbarton has, but they,
I think we talked about it one time, didn't we, Chris? Some discussion about it.
I'm gonna probably make a decision next week on this, we're gonna take this under advisement for the week, I wanna get as much information, to each selectman, so if any other questions, Bob, or.
I was gonna ask one question. When you sit in the town parking lot, you talking about in our parking lot right here?
that would be great, yes.
No drainage, from the truck or anything, all self-contained?
Self-contained, the only thing I might need is the use of a public restroom.
Okay, there are no public restrooms per se, and in this building, there's a restroom, but it's not really open to the public. It is by exception, I would say.
I don't make a mess in there.
I think that we have on occasion, UPS drivers, mail
Right.
people who will come in and use the facilities. I don't think we can turn them away.
Right. No running water needed, anything like that?
It's all
Okay,
contained.
very good. And license and insurance? Bob, any last questions?
Well, the only problem I have here in this area is, cause we don't know how busy it gets here, and you're competing with people that are at the library, people that are here, depending on what time of the month, people are registering vehicles. It could become problematic, so are there any other areas that you've looked at nearby that might work?
I don't know Dunbarton well enough. If you have other areas to suggest, this was suggested to me by people who lived in Dunbarton. So, that's why I approached it here.
The only other thing too is, we did just approve a small business of a, breakfast and lunch shop right here, on the corner here. I don't know if it'd be behoove us to have an outside vendor set up right in front of their business.
They're closed, I understand, on Mondays and Tuesdays.
Yeah, I
and
think
so
there
it
are.
would be on a Tuesday. I
Oh,
wouldn't
that would
compete.
be acceptable, I would think.
The only thing I'm concerned with, it is on town property, liability issues for town property, if someone getting injured or something like that, it's no more than a parking lot, but we're running a business on town property, and the thing is, whatever our legal concerns there, that's something I like to run by, not the collector.
Could I ask one thing? I've never seen a state approval for one of these types of trucks. Maybe if you could drop it off with Lean, so we could take a look at it next week, cause I don't know how the state goes about approving it.
To get a health certificate, you have to be fingerprinted, they check the driving record, I have to test my water, I just gave the water sample for the year, and then you have to be ServSafe certified, for health and sanitation purposes, and then the state comes out and inspects the truck and inspects how you do your sanitation.
I'm in the construction field, you'll see these pull up on construction sites and construction work, but I don't know how they get authorized to go on these sites and all that, it's just, I don't understand it, I guess.
think, I'm just guessing, they probably just pull up and no one says anything, and there's no guarantee that they're licensed with the state, that they meet all state health and safety codes. I do. There's no guarantee they have insurance. I do. I've operated on Bow Town property since I started.
You can see, we have more questions, we're just trying to get this
No,
vetted.
And
Okay.
I understand that, and I would like to try and answer them as best I
Okay.
can.
We got some public questions just
Yeah.
before you close it up. too.
Good, I was gonna ask.
Yeah, I guess I'm just wondering what day, because that would make a big difference, don't you think? Someone mentioned before, the town clerk is open certain days at those hours.
Right,
Then on a Thursday is exceptionally bad because she's open those hours, plus they have functions there, they have functions at the library, and this goes on. Parking is horrendous already.
And Wednesday planning is going on, once a month,
So, so that's what I'm chiming in about, is especially Thursday is a bad day, because the library has all kinds of functions go on. They're looking for parking spots. The church is looking for parking spots. The office is looking for
It
parking
does,
spots.
what he's saying, it does get congested here, especially
Very
early
bad.
Thursday evenings.
I understand. I think the days we were thinking of would be a Monday or Tuesday when the restaurant was closed.
Yeah, and I'm just pointing something out.
No, that's.
She's
your
open
point.
on Tuesdays in those hours, during those hours, again, which is, could be problematic, maybe not, I'm just.
Will you be
pointing
selling
it out.
soft serve?
No.
Okay.
I do have ice cream and, popsicles. They're
Okay.
all fruit popsicles, top quality.
You're getting some positive comments from the back. Coffee's good.
Coffee's good.
Okay, thing is,
All my food is homemade.
okay, you don't necessarily have to come next week. If we make a decision next week, it'll probably be through the town administrator gentleman.
Yep.
And the thing is, if we have any questions during the week, I'm gonna let the fellow selectman pass it through the town administrator, she'll be a point of contact. And
Do
then
you have a phone number for her?
I'm gonna have her write it on that slip of
Okay.
paper.
just your best phone to reach right across the top.
That's the kind of thing I'd be using, cause I don't cook.
Thank you so much.
All homemade. Southern coleslaw.
Kathy, thank you for coming in and discussing. And the thing
Thanks,
is,
I appreciate you getting me in.
yeah, and we'll get back to you.
All right, thanks.
Jim, I recommend we just a little bit on this, and we can talk about it next week, finish the discussion next week on this,
Sure.
okay? Okay, that's really that in your box, okay? Moving right along, I have something from the initial here, just a cleanup of some building issues with the road agent, and I have no issue with that, with his recommendations. Lean, you got that, you took that fraction already?
We have.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, so we'll come back to that one.
Just for the public, I'm in the town business now. I went through the agenda, I'm going to town business, my inbox. In today's mail, most people should have got the Dunbarton Elementary School News. It basically talks about the upcoming school board meeting Saturday at
3
3 p.m.
Well, we could make an action item on that if you wanted to, Mike.
This one? Yeah. Okay. We have a, let's get a quote for us.
Read it.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, this looks like we have a new quote. We'd asked, the Library Restoration Committee, to come back and give us some better pricing if they could find it on the portable, toilets. And
That's
the
Arts on the
handicap
Common.
portable toilet for Arts on the Common,
There you go.
which all the money is donated back to the town, for the restoration committee for the town hall / library. And it looks to me like the rates came back very favorable. The, regular portable toilet was $100. The handicap portable toilet for the entire weekend was $175.
Really?
And they paid for extra cleanings on them so that they're very clean. 2 additional cleanings, and the whole bill came up to $390, which was less than what just the handicap unit was before, so.
Where did they go?
It seemed a lot better than the last.
That's a win-win. In fact, we could almost pick it the turn.
That's what I was gonna make a motion, or if you wanna make a motion, that's the second one. Or Mike can
Yeah,
second it.
to pick up the cost for the,
Well, that's less than we paid
Yeah,
last year just
yeah,
for the handicap
yeah.
unit, so that's what I was hoping they were able to do.
And it's a real draw for Dunbarton.
so the entire cost is $340.
$390.
$390, I'm sorry, yeah, 1, 2, 75. Oh, that's for everything. So I'll make a motion that, we pick up the cost of the porta potties for the sum of $390 for the Arts on the Common weekend.
I'll second your motion, Bill.
Any further discussion on that?
No,
Don, kudos to Enid, please.
Yes.
All in favor?
Aye.
Pass that back to you.
That's in lieu of keeping our buildings open and using the
Selectmen?
toilet system.
Okay. You guys-
Because we did have a repair, just for the public, we're picking it up because, in previous years where the town facilities were used, we had, repair issues. And, this is almost like buying an insurance policy.
You gotta sign that.
One signature.
Oh, one's good enough?
Yeah.
Yes, you got it, Bob.
Okay.
You got the good one.
You gave him the poop signature.
Okay, the thing is, this, we have some further, discussion, just gentlemen, this is just more information, this is regarding legal opinions regarding the welfare position.
Yeah, I saw that, and I actually mentioned to
Oh, is
Lisa
that the one I read?
Yeah.
that
We got this. I think so, yeah.
town attorney, the new attorney we hired, seems to be spot on with his opinions that we're getting back now.
And the thing is, if you recall during the public hearing, the town moderator had some issues or concerns. He basically made the complete circle, he's back supporting us the way we were probably gonna do it. If the town, and the thing is, we also have a verbal confirmation from the previous town moderator that it was a motion from the floor that the town legislative body allowed the selectmen to hire. However, it was never really documented, so someone can argue in the court of law that it would never really happen. So this, I called it a cleanup. One of our articles on the warrant is to basically clean up the action so we can firmly embed the fact that the selectmen can appoint the appropriate welfare director. And if not, if the legislative body thinks otherwise, then next year would be on the ballot. We're gonna basically go to the will of the voters. And so that's just another opinion on that, okay, and continuing on. Okay, yeah, that's Woody's, dates. Yeah. All right, I'm gonna open up for public comment again, last row. Don, come on up.
Take Chris first, I don't know how long this is gonna be.
Chris, how long is yours gonna be?
2 minutes.
Okay, Don, don't go away, stay right up here. We're gonna have Chris come up for 2 minutes too.
Oh, okay, that's fine.
So we're gonna do a little juggling, that's all, because I don't wanna scare you away.
I just wanna update the board, we have some community events coming up. We have a fraud awareness presentation that Jason's actually gonna put on over at the library. Our biannual drug take back, April 25th, we're also gonna be doing CPR and passing out Narcan, just like we did last year. And then,
With the fraud, we also talk about web stuff?
yeah, everything, and we're gonna tailor it to what we've seen specifically here in Dunbarton.
Okay.
So we're hoping we'll get some good turnout from residents that have fallen victim, and we hosted one of these before, and we actually ended up taking 2 or 3 reports, fairly significant fraud
Okay.
events that people hadn't previously reported.
Can you comment on the Police Chiefs Association, keep calling me for money?
Really, I don't know if it's legit or not, there's people that unfortunately take advantage of that
I
sometimes.
I gave him your name.
And then, but our police chief said ignore her.
Yeah, hey, yeah.
Okay, good. Drug take back is on the,
April 25th from 10 to 2, we're doing that in tandem with the fire department, and the Capital Area Public Health Network comes out and helps with that as well. And that's completely paid for, all the personnel time is actually paid for by our Project First grant.
okay,
So it's a really good community event. Last year, I think we collected 100 pounds, just shy of 100 pounds of unwanted prescriptions between our April and October, which is pretty significant, yeah. And then the last thing, I was just notified this past week that we received the grant, Safe and Active Communities grant through CHAD, which is what I've been applying for each year for the bicycle helmets. So we solidified the time, the date, and our partners for the bicycle rodeo, which is gonna be Sunday, June 7th, from 12 to 2 over at the school. Excellent event. The PTO is gonna bring some popsicles, and we'll have the fire department there, the police department, and I just wanted to bring those to the board's attention.
all subject to COVID-19.
Very
Not-
true.
Okay,
Yeah.
so be flexible there.
Yeah.
Okay, but Lean can use these on our hot
He's
topics.
already.
Yeah,
given
it's
to
been
me,
coordinated
and
with
I'll
Perfect.
post them after town meeting, that way I can get them
Perfect.
right in the center of the
Thank
homepage,
you.
which works out well.
Okay.
That's all I got. Thank you for your
Okay,
time.
thank you.
Thank you, Chris.
Thank you.
Don, you got the floor.
Well, in reading my Dunbarton town report,
Yes.
I came across trustee of the trust funds. And I noticed that the cemetery trust fund, that we have for perpetual care, showed the money that we recovered last year, $916 and change. And then I noticed that our expendable trust that we use to do the Cremains Garden. But then there was another cemetery maintenance trust fund that was established in 1988. And they were sitting $24,513 in this. And I said, wait a minute, how come I haven't heard about this? And so, with Lean's help, we looked up to see who authorized it. And it was voted on in '88 and went into effect in '99 or '89, and it was passed. We looked up, make sure John Swindlehurst, I believe he was a cemetery trustee at the time, and that, well, I think this is where they took the money from. It basically said that they would use the money from the lots that were sold, to fund it. And I think the town, and I'm not sure on this, started the fund with $1,100. And that, because we went to the first book, and it said $1,100 was put in there. And then we looked to see about the expendable trust. Well, that was done, Article 16, in March of 2015, I think was the initial request by, and I think it was Brian Pike and Tom Grola were on the board at that time as selectmen and as cemetery trustees. And that was an expendable trust, which was controlled by the trustees of the cemetery.
Okay.
The other one, it doesn't state that. So I think the way that we looked at it, you gotta do it with a warrant article to,
The legislative body,
to,
extract funds.
this is what we're gonna do with the money, everybody vote on it, this type of thing. And so, if that's the case, why then, in 2021, we'd like to do a warrant article, and with that money, we would finish the road up at Page's Corner, we would finish the Cremains Garden up there to make it match this one here, and then also do the road in Center Cemetery.
Yeah, but it's gonna be hard to do that when we cut your budget.
No.
What about the fencing too?
Well, but basically, this money's been sitting there, and it's drawn interest in that. I was gonna talk to, Mr. Casey, John Casey, and see what he knows about it, and what the restrictions are and everything else on that particular trust. And it might be, the way it looked like it was an expendable trust, but I mean, most years, they didn't take anything out of it.
So it might be an opportunity to get the funding you needed to finish off these bigger
Right,
projects.
finish off the projects and.
I think that if you look at prior years, there wasn't a lot of money spent on the cemeteries.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, this maintenance that you're doing and a lot of this stuff is incremental compared to how it was done in the past. They spent very, very little money on our cemeteries.
Which, as I said before, I give you kudos for what the whole entire committee's doing. You're moving out smartly, making it a place to become a lifelong resident. To quote somebody.
We'll be recruiting them, we got one sale out of it so far, so, and, Joe's gonna be coming, so.
Well, the thing is, I would only recommend that we do a little more homework.
Mhm.
Talking with the trustee of the funds, exactly figure out what we need to do. I have no problem putting on a warrant. And I wouldn't spend it all in 1 year. But the thing is, if you've got a specific project where you need to fill out, I think this would be a good planning year to start laying the groundwork for what you wanna
Right.
draw for next year.
Yeah.
Would you agree?
Yeah, and I think Mike's right, you might not wanna spend it all in 1 year so that you get creative through more than 1 year on your projects.
Yeah.
Because remember, you will have to get out in front of the voters and speak to it as that warrant article chair, you know, so.
I'm pretty sure.
Now, is it still being
Yeah.
funded? Is it still being funded now? That's
Right
what-
now, there have not been any deposits other than what's been earned for.
Interest.
At least since I've been here, we've never touched that.
So let me ask you, it looks like it was funded before by plots being sold, where is the money when the plots are being sold now?
Currently, they're going into the expendable trust because of the new warrant
Yeah,
that was
in 15 they
created
went
in
into-
2015.
Then nothing came out of that, but I mean, like I mentioned, they're getting interest off of it, and it shows, you know, a couple $100.
The thing is, the question I have is, why do we have two? One, maybe it's time to combine the two into.
That would be another option, then
I
you
think what happened probably, Mike, is one board probably forgot there was already one established.
yeah,
Well, see,
And,
when I look at I think that, you know, the expendable trust made it very easy for them to use the money in that, although they never did.
Right.
But it gives the trustees the option, which we did this year, or last year rather, took that option. And this fund though, you know, nobody knew what it was. And so what I look at is that my term is up in 2022. And I'd love to be able to, you know, ride off into the sunset when the cemetery's in great shape.
Leaving a good legacy.
Yeah. So it, you know, it's just,
Well, then I would at least look at maybe combining the two, trust funds. Because I don't think we need more than one, I mean,
Well, it'd have to go through the same town vote, Mike. to do
absolutely,
that.
absolutely. But I think this
So-
can be proposed for next year.
yeah,
Yeah, but if he has projects, he could do projects. You could do two warrant articles, one to take the funds out of there for a project, and the balance could go into the.
right.
right.
That's
There'd have to be a separate
perfect,
warrant.
that's spot on.
'Cause
And
I-
there'd be no cost to the taxpayers.
Right.
But I will tell you, some taxpayers like it to come in front of the voters to expend money each time they go to take it out of there. That way they can vote on it, where if you put it in the other one, they lose that option.
True, it's almost like a capital reserve. When they have a
Yeah.
capital reserve fund, I mean, we say put money away in the capital reserve, but to take it out, it has gotta go in front of the voters.
And not for nothing, that may be why the other fund was set up, so that they had a small amount of money to use, where this one here was left for like a major.
So, discuss it among the trustees.
Yeah.
And come to us with some recommendations, how you see best fit for you, because you guys know, your committee should know exactly, trustees should know how you'd wanna implement it.
Right.
And we can either support or be against it, but the thing is, I think, come up with your best recommendations, do a little more digging of this fund, and come to us, not November, mid-year.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Now I can interject.
Yes.
Okay, is that graded? I have the same concern though, you know, kind of plan out what you wanna do. I know you probably like to get everything done before you're gone, but it may take a little longer, cause you may have things that come up in between that need some addressing. So, you know, trying to plan that out, map it out, what's the most important thing you wanna get done first, what's the next one, does it change,
Right.
you know, so.
Well, we kinda have it prioritized, you know, the Cremains Garden up in Page's Corner first, the road down here second, and that's one question I wanted to ask you now. Brian Pike said that the town should take care of the road redoing that. He said they've done it in the past, that they come in and, you know, dig it up and repack it or whatever.
What road was
I
this?
think he meant that they had a road agent in
Yeah,
charge
the
of
road
that.
agent would do it
But-
as a town rather than
I
cost of
didn't hear
construction.
it that way. When he was talking to you, that's not what I heard.
Yeah.
So it may be a little bit different, but, again, cause you know, if you look at the fence on some of the cemetery too, you know, so I think planning out where the steps you're gonna take is you know, just.
It's like any other department, I mean, you have a vehicle, they don't buy a vehicle every year, I mean, he plans that he's gonna buy a vehicle this probably year, and then, you know, planning projects appropriately. And it may be worthwhile to keep some money in reserve, God forbid, someone plows into the fence, and you have a budget, you don't have a budget to replace
Oh, we got a
fencing.
fence budget.
No, but,
Well, stones get turned
Yeah.
over or whatever.
yeah.
You know what I
No,
mean?
And.
And insurance
we're
covers so much,
taking-
but-
We're addressing the stones, cause we have a warrant article that's paying for that, and this is the last year of it, so.
But, you know, other cemeteries in New Hampshire, they've had vandalism where people knock, juveniles come in and just knock things over, and that's not.
Yeah, we got a new police officer in town, so.
Yeah, exactly. Good, Leo.
Yeah, how many, sites are there in S. Cremain's garden, yeah,
There's, now there's 78 left,
78, how many originally?
110.
Okay, well, I'm just wondering how fast they sell, you know?
Well, we're picking up speed,
You're dying to get in there.
yeah.
Well, I'm just wondering if the Cremain's garden and, the,
Yeah, that's where most of the Center Cemetery, if they want to be buried here, is almost.
yeah, right,
remains.
but I'm just wondering if the one at the, other cemetery is really necessary prior to other projects is my question. Like Bob said, the fence is falling down over here. Not that you even need one,
Yeah,
but my point is it is falling down over here, and I've been fixing it for years, but I'm pretty much out of stock,
Right.
you know?
It looks
fence-
nice having a fence there, even if.
Yeah,
it's
yeah, yeah,
not
I'm just saying, it will fall,
needed.
there's no doubt, those posts are rotted, they're gone.
Yeah,
we do have a budget for that, so, give me an estimate and we'll, shift the money over.
Well,
I
again,
guess it's a thing where, you know, I'd like to see you prioritize the direction you're gonna go in, so that, you know, you have enough monies, and you can leave enough monies behind, cause, you know, the next trustees could come in with different ideas of what they wanna get done.
cause I'll tell you, it's probably very unlikely. Oops, I thought I put that on. Very unlikely that you'll see a sizable chunk in the cemetery fund like that again, so.
Make
It's,
it last.
but it's nice to have a reserve for,
Yeah, it is, oh, definitely.
the thing is, we have
But we can,
COVID-19 coming up,
Yeah.
you never know.
You're correct, though, Dave, because it gives the body a chance to
we can.
chime in, cause they don't
Yeah.
go to all their meetings.
Take,
Right.
two of the three, the ones that are most important. Basically, this road needs to be fixed. I mean, it's ruts and it's dangerous for older people to walk down it. And, I think that, the Cremain's garden up there, if we don't do it, it might not get done ever.
Okay.
And
Now, some of
that'll
those,
increase
some of those
sales.
projects, list them out, the reasons why you wanna have them done, and, with that amount of money, with the maintenance you have in there this year, you should be able to do a good portion of it. But like Leo says, with the voters voting, it's not a lot of people come to these meetings, so if it was transferred over, they might not see it, but at town meetings, certainly, 300 or so people will see it.
Yeah,
So it's a good way to keep everything in the spotlight as well as you're doing the projects. And I think what Leo was talking about on the fence, Leo has repaired this free of
Right.
charge several times, but I
Yeah.
don't think he wants to install a whole new fence, but
No.
he was helping the town at the time.
no, I realize that. And Leo's been, very good help with the fences and, the carriage house and everything else, so.
It's almost like found money, but we don't wanna spend it all at one time.
Oh, I realize that, and, we wanna build up the expendable trust fund also, so if we can do two projects, two of the three projects, build up the, trust fund, and then, do, down the road. Because when we did the road up in Page's Corner, we did the primary road that goes around there, if you've been up there to see it. And that, the other one that goes past the Hearst house, and it's getting, ruts in it like that, but it's all grass. And, it's,
That one would be a little cheaper too, Don, wouldn't it?
I think if we just did that one strip, the one in front by the brick rock wall, that could wait. But,
And that's what we would like to have your committee, your trustees prioritize for us, and then, come mid-year, things, we'll say mid-year target, we can discuss and what we wanna, what see how much money we wanna withdraw, and we would either recommend it or tell you to tighten your belt a little bit more and say that's too much, and I think we can negotiate something on that.
Okay.
And, cause not that we're an improvement authority, but we're gonna make a recommendation.
Right.
On a warrant article.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, on the warrant article. Well, I appreciate your help on that,
Yeah, and that's,
so, and your support.
And that's what we do.
All right.
no, I think everybody's happy in the direction that that cemetery is going and the, you know, work you guys have done there from what I've heard.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
a lot of positive
I
comments.
heard from, the treasurer of the New Hampshire Cemetery Association, he says that, our trustees here in Dunbarton are putting the rest of the trustees across the state to shame.
Oh,
With all our projects and how we're funding them.
that's a good compliment.
They're bragging rights now.
So I got a feeling in April, I'm gonna hit the rhubarb there. All right, guys.
Thank you, Don.
Thanks, John. See you
Good job,
later.
and I'll scan this to Ian. I'll scan this to Ian.
Oh,
I
okay.
just wanna make sure we have a copy in the office.
Okay, Ian will be very excited about that.
Okay?
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, continuing on, gentlemen.
Well, we have a few things while Woody's here, we might run through them with him.
Linda asks you guys to address that. She said it came as a recommendation from Rennie, the moderator.
We have to make a motion on it, don't we?
Yeah. Okay.
Want me to read
Yeah,
it?
please.
Oh, it's for Allison.
Yeah, it's a little bit different.
Okay. I'd like to make a motion, to fill a vacancy for the ballot clerk, with Allison Vellers in said town of Dunbarton, whereas we, the subscribers, have confidence in your ability and integrity to perform duties of said office. We do hereby appoint you, the said Allison Valeries, a ballot clerk for said town of Dunbarton. Upon your taking the oath of office and having this appointment and the certificate of said oath of office recorded by the town clerk, you shall have the powers, perform the duties, and be the subject to the liabilities of such office until another person shall be chosen and qualified in your stead, term ending August 1st, 2020. I don't know, do we sign this now?
Yes, we can, because she's gonna be sworn in by the town clerk.
Oh, okay. What, you just getting that in?
She just handed it to me.
We got you here, we might, if you got a few more things, we can talk about a few things at the transfer station.
Sure.
Just,
Can you second the motion? I didn't.
oh, I'm sorry, I'll second it.
Okay.
And all in favor?
Aye.
We sign it, so be it. The recommendation goes on to the town clerk to be sworn in. We understand, this is gonna review what you said, you sent to us. Correct, glass doors, thumbs up, already been repaired. Town truck we talked about. Still working on some, with, handyman with some maintenance items at the transfer station.
Yes.
That's a thumbs up. Pay for the transfer station employees and pay schedule, we're gonna have a personnel workshop after the, probably April, May timeframe. Just to give you an update where we're going with that. Credit cards.
Okay, I did talk to Woody briefly before.
Yeah.
That has to be approved by the treasurer because there's requirements that either will debit or credit the town's accounts, and she's very protective of those. We have talked about the square, I forwarded his email to her again, and Woody said that she said that what's critical is the internet to be able to accept, or keep that
Right.
square alive or open. And then he said that, do you have internet out there, like
Yes, he does.
wireless?
Yeah, the wireless, we'll have to do a little researching on that, cause when they set up for the solar,
Yeah,
they did have issues hooking into the wireless part of it.
okay,
Have to take somebody a little bit more tech savvy than me, but I think it's doable. The big thing is today, everybody knows, not many people carry cash with them, or a check.
I've gotta admit, I've had to come back and pay you after I've dropped
And-
something off. so-
Exactly, and sometimes, as a courtesy to the residents, we'll hold the slip for them. Well, sometimes we keep getting a lot of slips, and then I have to keep making phone calls, which, it's not a big deal, I don't mind doing it, it's part of my job. But then we have situations where every now and then we're chasing, for months. And we're making phone calls and we're chasing and we're chasing. And I just think that this might alleviate some of the issues of us holding slips and having to chase slips. I know, for example, my wife doesn't carry cash, she carries a card with her.
But the thing is, we have to pay, it's not a winning proposition, we still have to pay money.
There's a fee, yeah.
Right, I don't imagine what, I mean, you can always adjust it according in your fees.
I'm thinking if we increased each fee $1, it might pay for it, but Linda's got some information.
I have a question actually, because I don't know how that setup is, so if somebody drops off debris, construction debris or
Yep.
whatever, you make a slip for them and then the town bills them, so you don't handle
Nope.
cash at all?
No, we handle everything
You
right
handle
there.
the cash.
Everything right then and there.
So my thought is that then people need to educate themselves, cause for motor vehicle, very few people don't know that we don't accept credit cards, and they come with cash in hand.
Mhm.
So the onus really should be on the person who's bringing their stuff to the trash, because you're gonna incur those fees if we do credit cards. People have asked me about credit cards for
Mhm.
car payments. And my response is, I mean, there's several reasons we don't do it, and I do tell people, the town would have to back charge you all of those fees, we're not a business, we can't absorb the cost of taking credit cards.
I think for dogs, we should start opening it up.
I think we should, but for, stop throwing me off track, I'm old, I forget what I'm gonna say. But we have to back charge those fees, but then because of motor vehicle, we're a 2-check town right now, you write a check to the town and a check to the state. If we were to take credit cards, motor vehicle would make us become a 1-check town, which means we'd collect town money and state money in 1 check, and I'd have to deposit it every single day after work. Right now I have a little dispensation, I only have to go twice a week. I'd have to go every day, and Pam would have to make an ACH transfer every single night. So by accepting credit cards at the transfer station, I mean, it's up to you,
Yeah,
but people will say, well, if you do it there, why don't you do it?
it may be more than you wanna bite off, that's what I'm thinking too. Because
There's
you-
also the other thing we have to look, and I know we like to stay in this realm we're in, but we are coming into the future, and things have changed, and we have to change with the times.
Yeah.
We may not wanna deal with credit cards, but I think today's society, we kinda need to deal with credit cards. It's the way everybody, it's the way it is.
Do you have a sign that says that we accept cash and checks only?
I think it should be posted a few different places there. It's a double-edged sword, because yes, we're in the 21st century, I understand that, but yet everybody keeps saying, but we're such a small town.
Right.
You know, you're bringing some garbage to the dump, bring some money. It's not like you gotta bring $200. So, I don't think it's a
Can I just speak
hassle.
on Linda's
Go ahead.
behalf? I had just gone to register my vehicle in January, and the clerk there said that they're a 1-check town. She said it's an accounting nightmare, because the town has to absorb the portion of the state, and if the check bounces, then the town has to eat both sides of that
The
bounce.
state will go after them, but it's a long
No,
process.
the town has to. She said that accounting
What's-
department is,
Okay, Woody, what's the biggest,
cause they get paid.
charge you've ever to charge people? What's the biggest charge, average?
That's a good question.
It's usually demo.
I'm
And the
sorry?
big demo.
But how much would someone, if I came in with a trailer for a
I
demo?
paid $60 before.
And the most we've ever charged was I think it was like 150, 175.
And what would you say the average person comes in there? Average,
Probably the average,
couple bucks?
no, it's probably, if you average it across everything, probably $30, $40.
Yeah,
Suggestion,
Yep.
you know,
it's an ATM at the corner store.
There you go.
Just
Yeah.
like,
there you go.
people will do
Hey,
that.
the thing is, it may be a good idea, but I think it's, let's think about that.
Well, no, yeah, I don't think we have to
We're not gonna
make
make
a
a decision
decision.
tonight, yeah.
Make life
You know,
easier for them anyways, to be honest,
Maybe,
right?
It's their responsibility.
maybe the square is the easiest one. I know the fire department association,
Yeah.
we have a square. And it's doesn't appear to be that difficult of the Wi-Fi is probably the biggest issue. But it doesn't seem to be, and the fee is very, very, very minimal, as far as I know, cause the association is not for profit. But like when we do barbecue tickets,
Yeah,
people, yeah, pay with my card, foom, foom, Done.
Yeah.
Wait till the machine doesn't work.
Yeah,
So,
That's
when
the
and
intimate
people will
part.
say to me, the only place I write checks is here, and I just say, I'm just keeping that old-fashioned tradition alive.
All right, but just something to think about, we'll keep on the table, okay.
Yeah.
But, we had an opportunity to take advantage of a few items, so we just started to discuss it, okay. All right, I'm gonna close that, and we'll just keep it on the table live, keep up your updates, your thumbs up on those. I'm gonna bring it back to the board, I'm gonna start with,
I'm good this week.
okay, Bob, to you.
I'm good this week.
Oh my God.
See you guys at the election.
Linda, just to let you know, we've already talked to Woody, he'll be there to pick up your stuff, shortly around 4 o'clock, bring it on down. And he'll probably do the same MO, take as much as you can at the conclusion of the election, then we'll be counting all night.
Yes, feel free to recruit counters. I was looking up some of the laws today. Dave was asking me regarding his participation.
Right,
He is allowed to fulfill his role as an election official, but we've kind of set it up in town where if you're on the ballot, you should just stay away, especially when it's contested.
I did say to Dave, if he wanted to let a selectman pro tem, he could, and the things that he's gonna reach out, he said he would reach out to someone to have someone there as a selectman pro tem.
You wouldn't need one for the whole day. It's mandatory that the selectmen be in attendance for presidential and state general elections. I think that's what I read, and that's according to the New Hampshire Constitution. I didn't see anything yet on town elections, but if he's not gonna be around because he's just gonna be
Sure.
on the sidelines, then it's just you and Bob, and one of you gets called away for a few hours, and you've only got one selectman,
Right.
so you should at least have somebody to have two of you.
Right, that's why Dave was gonna consider a pro tem, and he was gonna let us know that day.
And I can bring appointment papers with me.
Again,
Bring
I've had
lights.
Leo he was my pro tem before, thank you, Leo.
I never got my check.
Hey. I'm working on it.
Don't
I gotta flag Leo down for sign.
Feel free to recruit,
I did that.
Leo, you wanna be pro temp and sign holder?
feel free to recruit ballot counters.
We didn't do it down here, cause you had Don come forward, we had to come forward. So just letting you know.
All right, public comment, any last minutes from the comment? Back row?
Feel free to recruit ballot counters.
Yes.
Remember, we can't start counting the ballots until the meeting is over and the gym is empty. So if it's a late meeting, like 11 o'clock, that's when we start counting ballots. So the more people we have, the better.
And that's why we're gonna have a shorter meeting.
I have a question, are we calling the people that we got that list of on that first voting?
I'd be happy to give you the stack if you'd like to make those phone calls.
Well, I would, but that's not my job being an election year.
Lucky you, huh?
All right, enough said.
Oh, they say that touche.
Okay. There was one other action, we're gonna go in a non-public tonight, discuss a salary issue.
No, I think we're gonna put that off for a week.
That's what I said.
Okay, yep.
So I think, I'm ready for a motion.
Make a motion to adjourn at 8:13.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.